What's going on, world? What's going on? It's your main man, the author. Right back at that ass again. Here's another one. I just want to make this brief video, man. I didn't even plan to make a video today, but this just in, man. This is just hot off the press, man. I just saw this video, man, with this. I just made this video entitled Black Diesel Dikes. How feminism created pretty much that platform. So my Black Diesel Dike video I just made, this reminds me of this, man. I just saw this video on Facebook of this Black Diesel Dike, right, passing around a blunt to like 3 or 4 2-year-olds, man. I'm serious, man. Black Diesel Dike passing around a blunt to like these little bitty kids, man. They look like they're about 1 or 2 years old, man. And one 2-year-old is kind of scary because 1 2-year-old blew the smoke through her nose. She was the littlest one. And I'm like, damn, how long she been smoking? I mean, these kids, man, the oldest one couldn't have been no more than 2 years old, man. I wish I knew how to put the footage in my video, but I don't know how to. I'm not really that savvy when it comes to technology. So, I didn't come up in the millennial area. So, and I haven't, it's been a long time since I've worked with computers like that. So I wanted to try to do that, put it in this video, but instead I'll probably put the link in the description box and have you guys go over to my page and see it, man. It's one of my first. It's probably either the first or second video that I have on my Facebook page. I don't like it, and I didn't want to post it, but I just want to show you guys what I've been talking about, man. It's so funny because I just made a video called Black Diesel Dikes, right? And y'all was like, man, that's a funny title, so on and so forth. And in some ways it is, but it's I was talking about in that video about how Black Diesel Dikes, right? These females, these demented females are trying to take on a masculine role. And ultimately, I guess they're going to be the new men of the black community. Now that, the black men have kind of been pushed to the side where they're not even welcome in their own homes. And for the most part, if a black man is going to remain in the home with a black woman, then in most cases, he has to be under that black woman. And a lot of times he's under the kids. Not just meaning that his needs aren't going to be met first, but he doesn't even have say so. I mean, if you're the man, you're the provider. I expect for the women and kids to eat first. But if I say something, then if I'm creating that platform where your needs come first, then when I say something, my word should mean the most in the household. But it's not like that. With this new founded black community, the black man's needs are going to come last, and if he is to remain in the house, he can't really say anything about anything, right? He's underneath the kids. Not only does his word not mean anything, but he can't even say anything without, quite possibly being thrown in the street himself. And of course, the females want all of the paperwork, like the deed in the car in their name, so they can easily close the door on that man. In most cases, not in all cases, but I'm just saying, a lot of brothers out here know what I'm talking about, right? And a lot of you females know it's true too. I see a lot of females starting to post on my page, and some of them are getting a little bit hot. When a female gets hot enough to post, that means you know that it's true, and that some of the stuff that I'm talking about, I'm indirectly talking about you, and I like that. So keep it coming. But not to get off topic, man, but I just made a video about a Diesel Dikes trying to take over the community and how brothers are following Diesel Dikes, right? And I made that video a few days ago. Then I made another video entitled, Black Women's Only Option is to Date Each Other. And that shows the emergence of the Diesel Dike, right? So the videos kind of coincide. And this just happened with the Black Diesel Dike passing out a blunt to these 2-year-old kids, man. 1 and 2-year-olds. Some of them are probably a few months old. And in a lot of ways, I know that's personal behavior. That's a shame on the black community, right? But hey, man, I'm not shifting all the blame to the courts, but they have to take some responsibility for that shit. And here's why. And a lot of brothers know that this is true, man. And to go along with this, I posted a video about on my Facebook page, where this brother had been taking care of his son. His son looked like he was about maybe 10 years old, right? And the black mother, the boy probably was somewhere between, I'd say, 8 to 10 years old, right? And the black mother had been in and out of prison since 2010. So count backwards, 2010. That's when I arrived in Charlotte, right? So that was about 8 years ago, right? So she was in and out of jail since 2010. So the kid doesn't even know her. So by default, he had to have the kid. So the kid, he had to take care of his boy so the boy wouldn't go to the state, right? Because everybody knows that America has way too many kids that they don't know what to do with, that are in foster homes because there are no parents, right? So the black man had to take care of his son by default. But now that the mother is out of prison, what do? They're gonna take that kid away from that brother, man. And the brother's on the ground crying, man. His son is crying. It's a real deep type of video. And I guess no one, this isn't going. I don't see this posted everywhere. But if it was the other way around, with a guy getting out of prison, going back and forth, and then he was getting custody of the kid, and they were taking the kid away from the mother, then that would go viral. Everybody would, be talking shit. But yeah, the brother had been watching the kid, man, had the kid in his custody since 2010, right? 8 years. So she was in prison since 2010. So the son don't even know her, right? And that's why he was crying, like, yo, why I gotta go, Pop? I don't even know this motherfucker, right? And they're going to take the custody away from that black man and give it to that chick, which is what my point. The courts like doing fuck shit like that, right? They like giving black women or women in general custody of the kid, saying that a kid should be with the mother, blah, blah, blah. Mothers are the best caretakers just because they push the kid out, which is ridiculous. That's just as ridiculous as saying just because I nut, I'm a better, and I think typically, yeah, men are better providers and caretakers than women. Like the woman said on my Facebook, well, black women are abandoned by black women are abandoned by black men. Yeah, that's because black women picked the wrong black men to procreate with. And some of them are running these black men away anyway, so they can get all the welfare money. That's another video. But yeah, so the brother that was on the ground had his 10-year-old son taken away from him because the mother was finally out of prison. And that's what the courts like to do. They like to take the kids away from the father. In almost any dispute, they'll give custody to the women. And especially in the black community, the woman 99% of the time is going to get custody of the kid unless she's just a straight up crack hog. That just pretty much she doesn't have her brain at all. But as soon as she gets a little straight, she can get that kid back. Ain't that some crazy shit? So, and that's why you hear the increase of women abusing these kids. And a lot of times women don't even want these kids, okay? They just do that shit to be spiteful against the man because they know the men want to raise these kids. A lot of these guys want to raise these kids, and they want to keep the kid away from the man. And so they can bad talk the man, behind his back, tell the kid that your father ain't shit, so on and so forth, right? So with the courts giving custody to all these women, especially in the black community, since they want to keep that destabilized, they give all the custody to these black females, and that's what you get. That Black Diesel Dike is a snippet, of what you get when too many women have custody of the kids. Now, the Black Diesel Dike, these kids don't even look like hers. Like they're her. She's a light-skinned chick. The kids are a bit darker. Now, they may or may not be hers. But a lot of times, too, these black women are getting with Diesel. The same poor choices they made as mothers, where they found themselves abandoned by black men. Those same poor choices they made to choose bad partners, so they did end up alone because they chose the wrong man. They're making them those same poor choices when it comes to choosing women. So they chose the wrong man to procreate with, to have these kids, and now they're choosing the wrong women to sleep with, and they're letting these Diesel Dikes watch their kids when they're not at home, and the Diesel Dikes is passing around fucking blunts to 2-year-old kids, man. I remember one time, man, I was at my man's Reg's house. Little 2-year-old was crying. Was with the dad, but the dad was a piece of shit in this case. He was dead drunk. The kid kept crying. So my man Trey went ahead and got the kid, right? And Reg was like, man, because that was his roommate. And Reg was like, man, I don't want to be bothered, man. I'm getting off work. I'm trying to unwind. I'm trying to smoke my cigarette. I feel what he was saying. And Reg didn't have no kids. None of us did. But my man Trey couldn't stand hearing a little kid crying. So he grabbed him, coddled him, put him on my lap. I'm like, man, Trey, why you doing this, bro? So then I hold the kid. And then he passed it to Reg. And Reg's like, man, now I got to put my cigarette down. So Reg put his cigarette down and held the kid. So we was dudes. We were inner city dudes, right? We were from the inner city. We were from Rochester, New York, one of the worst cities in the country. It made the top 25 list again last year. But now we didn't know that kid. If we was crazy dudes, we could have did anything to that kid. But we weren't like that. We were good dudes, man. Compassionate dudes. Like the average brothers out here, right? And these average brothers out here are not getting custody of these kids. Right? So for every one drunk dude that was in there was 3 other brothers looking after this kid, and then the mother just came back inside the house, and we had the kid. So the average brother is a way better caretaker than the average black female. Don't get it twisted. Because with all that emotional shit that they go through, man, I mean, that they claim they go through. Because if they hurt a kid, they can always claim postpartum or some other stupid shit, right? And of course, let them get away with it. So that's why you have the emergence of the Black Diesel Dike. You know what I mean? That's why the Black Diesel Dike is a monster, man. She's conflicted, confused, oftentimes depressed, and sometimes suicidal. Because you thought that Generation X was in trouble because we were the first generation without fathers. Yeah, we were a bit confused, but we did feel comfortable being boys, and we knew eventually that we had to become men, but we didn't have the rites of passage. We didn't have any program or plan that because we knew it was supposed to be some type of rites of passage, but we didn't have the most rites of passage programs are headed by the father. You know, the father either takes you hunting or takes you to the shooting range. The Jews have a ritual where if a boy is 12, he crosses over to manhood. You know, in the black community, we didn't have that. But we knew that we had to get there. So a lot of times, too, we overdid it. You know, you fought each other. You know, play fights were almost like real fights, you know. Sometimes you join gangs, shit like that. That was your rites of passage. Now that rite of passage is deadly, irresponsible, and foolish. But you know, and a lot of times those gangs weren't mentored by real adults. But that's the best we could do at that time frame. But now with the millennials, man. Not only now we're starting to see the impact of how not having a man in the home has not only negatively impacted men, but it's also had a major impact on females, right? So not only do females not have the father, you know, so they don't have, most of black females are very childish because They don't have the rites of passage, because females should go through a rites of passage too if they want to go from girl to woman or girl to alpha male, right? Not only don't they have that, so they don't even know how to go from girl to woman because they don't have a female rites of passage, which the father should also be a part of. But they don't even feel comfortable having tits or having a pussy. Or they don't even know the value of their femininity. They don't know their role as a nurturer, right? So they end up wanting to compete with the male, or use that what do you call it? Freud's psychology. They have the penis envy on steroids, man. So you want to be a man, which you can never be, right? You produce too much estrogen. Biologically, you're not created that way. You weren't created that way, right? You're a nurturer. You have tits. You nurture the baby. You have a pussy. You have a canal. You have a birth canal where the baby goes through. The baby is able to be fed in your womb. You give. You're a nurturer. But they don't see themselves that way. They want to be masculine. They want to be a man, or be like men, because they don't see the strength in their own femininity, right? So you have the emergence of the Black Diesel Dikes, the most confused, the most conflicted, the most destructive. And you can see it in this video, man, how she's passing around a blunt. All right? A nicely rolled motherfucking blunt at that. Now, I'm not a smoker like that. I'm not a big smoker. I have smoked before. But passing around this blunt, bro, on a serious tip to 2- and 3-year-old kids. Now, I think this may or may have not gone viral. But here's my point, man. I don't think she will do time for this. Even if she is arrested, I don't think she's going to do a significant amount of time. If those are her kids, I don't think she will lose them for that long. If they are not her kids, I don't think she will be. She may not. They may just say she go to court, and they may say she's on probation, and she'll be right back out. I mean, they've given these women a license to kill in terms of how they interact with these kids, and you're giving kids blunts and telling them to pass the blunt around at the age of 2. I mean, what the fuck, man? You haven't even given them a chance to. You haven't given their lungs a chance to develop. I mean, that's pretty much like delayed abortion. In my opinion, man, that's like delayed abortion. Like you might as well had an abortion if you were gonna try to kill the kids at 2 or 3. You might as well did it 2 years previous and just not had it. I repeat, you might as well just not have had the kid. And then, like I said, either way, if it's her kid, it's bad. If those aren't her kids, then some black woman is responsible for letting their kids be watched by a Black Diesel Dike. And it probably, I believe that it's probably somebody's girlfriend that let her watch those kids. Because a black woman, and she ain't gonna pay for a sitter. She'll let anybody watch some kids, especially if they are having sex with her. Right? I've had single moms just they don't give a damn, man. They'll let me watch them. Whoever's tapping it. I'll be right back. And I'm not just saying that I'm perfect or nothing like that anyway, but it's just the thing, man. I mean, shit, this is like the bottomless pit. And I just made a video on Black Diesel Dikes, and here I come across a video with a Black Diesel Dike passing blunts around to 2- and 3-year-old kid. I say, man, I'd be surprised if the oldest kid she passed the blunt to was 3. And then had that kid pass the blunt to the other 2-year-old. Like they had what we used to call a cipher. Had them pass the blunt between each other at 2 and 3. It's like, man, these kids, like, By the time they in high school, they didn't had like years of practice smoking, drinking, taking Xanax and all this type of shit. They didn't have years of training in that shit. Like, god damn. Like, I remember growing up like 16, you might just started. You just started to take your first real smoke. Now, I did mine a little earlier since I was in the inner city, but you didn't really get serious to like 16, 17 when you start, okay, I'm going to really try to puff on this. They got these kids at 2, 3. But yeah, I'm going to try to put the link in my description box, man. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. Hopefully, I'll get the capabilities, man, to where, and then even if I could, take this video and take that video and put it in this video, I don't know if, you know, they'll come around and say, do I have the rights to, you know, because YouTube is like on a lot of other type shit where do you have the rights to post it, especially if it's if you're taking content that was you know, like say you're taking content from CNN or someplace like that. This, I may get a pass on it because I think it's just somebody's personal video, but I don't know. But I'll put the link in the description box, so hopefully you guys could see it on my Facebook page and tell me what you think, man. But it's real disgusting shit. But they have it as one of those, you know, private videos where you're only supposed to be 18 if you watch it, but it's disgusting. I hope she's arrested. I hope she does some real time, which I doubt she will. And I hope that courts wake up, man. I mean, it might get so bad to where they have to let the men keep custody. But, or at least if you're going to let females keep custody, hold them accountable, you know. But this is the author, your boy signing out, man. And y'all take care. Thanks for all the support, all the comments, things of that nature.